The March jobs report is out now, and according to the Commerce Department, the economy created 98,000 jobs last month.
That's right, but according to economists at Goldman Sachs, that number could have been 30 to 60,000 jobs higher were it not for the weather. Business weather expert Paul Walsh joins us now to discuss that. Hey there, Paul.
Good morning.
Good morning, Paul. And, we know the weather impacts everything, but how does the weather impact the job numbers?
Well, Paul, it's a great question. And the first Friday of every month, I should say, the Commerce Department releases the numbers, as you just mentioned, of new jobs that were created the prior month. The reason the weather has an impact on it, especially this time of year, is a lot of those new jobs are outdoor-related jobs. So think of construction, think of outdoor entertainment, even retail, all impacted by that seasonality. So when you have weather conditions that are less seasonal or unseasonal, it can have an impact, in this case, a direct impact on the number of new jobs that were created.
So would that be the explanation for why the number was in fact lower then, or at least part of it?
It's part of it, but actually it's a pretty big part of it this time, Julia. And part of the reason is that we had that unusual February. You just talked about the cherry blossoms blooming early. The economy and job creation was kind of the same boat. We actually saw a huge increase in February based on that real warm surge that we had. So by the time we got into March, the jobs that would have normally been created in March actually probably happened in February. So that the result of those two things basically resulted in the job numbers coming in much lower than was expected. And of course, that can have ramifications across the rest of the economy, just that number change.
Well, let's talk about that, Paul. So what are the impacts? Why does this matter to our wallets?
Well, there's two pieces, Paul. So the first piece, and we actually saw that when the jobs number came out this week, is that it'll have a direct impact on the stock market. So when people out are trading on the stock market are surprised, that can have a negative impact. We saw a pretty sharp drop in the stock market when that number came out. On the longer term, as the Federal Reserve watches that number, it could impact things like how much they charge for interest rates if they see that the economy is either overheating or not overheating. I think, though, the good news here is that most of the analysts that are looking at this realize that weather was a big, giant player in this, and so therefore we didn't see a big impact on the stock market, and also we wouldn't expect to see have a broader economic implications.
Wow.
All right, Paul Walsh, thank you so much. Always interesting to hear how the weather is connected to our wallets.